Hey guys, it's Scott here, and I'm back with my co-host Trey. In this video, we're going to talk about Pittsburgh and Tennessee, which is the top 25 matchup. Pittsburgh's number 17, Tennessee's number 24. Matchup predictor has Tennessee 54.1% favorite, and the point spread for the game has Tennessee favored by 6. And I'm going to turn it over to my co-host Trey and his initial thoughts on the game and what he thinks about each team.
Hey, what's everybody? Trey here again. I think that if this game is in Tennessee, it's not obviously, but if it's in Tennessee, I think that Tennessee wins by 40. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. I don't like Pittsburgh at all. They lost their quarterback. They lost their wide receiver. That is a lot of production gone. You got the stats on Hendon Hooker for Addison and for
Their All-American receiver Addison, 100 catches, almost 1,600 yards, 17 touchdowns. Lost me in a transfer portal to USC. And their quarterback last year, Pickett, was a first-round pick in the draft, had 42 touchdowns, 7 picks, 4,319 yards. That's two very tough players to be able to replace instantly, especially for a program like Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't like this matchup for Pittsburgh at all. I don't mind Slovis. He transferred from USC. I don't mind him, but I don't love him. I don't think he is going to be able to do a whole lot versus this Tennessee defense. Um, it is a very, very good Tennessee team. I just don't think Pittsburgh matches up well with Tennessee at all.
And we talked about, Pittsburgh and West Virginia before the week one matchup with West Virginia. We wasn't very high on Pittsburgh. We talked football almost every day to each other. And that game came down to the very last play. West Virginia near about caught that ball for a touchdown and sent the play under review.
Yeah, it's like literally an inch away from them with the ball at the 1 yard line with what was it, like 15, 20 seconds left, and they could tie the game. I just do not like Pittsburgh at all. I think Vegas and all the odds makers are way too high on Pittsburgh, and I don't know why. I don't get it.
And if Pittsburgh's, suffering losses on their team, Tennessee is the opposite. Tennessee is returning some talent. They got Hooker back as quarterback. 8 returner starters on offense, 7 on defense. They returned the number 1 quarterback, Hendon Hooker, who threw for 31 touchdowns, only 3 picks last year. They returned their top receiver, Tillman, 64 catches, 1,081 yards, 12 touchdowns. They returned Small, their leading rusher, with 806 yards last year. Hooker himself put up 816 on the ground. They returned their top 3 sack leaders, their top 3 leading tacklers. I mean, they just returned back everybody. That second-year coach Josh Heupel, he put up very good offensive numbers with the team last year. Now he's going to get a lot of those players back and a chance to even improve on those numbers. And it just seemed like if Pittsburgh's trending one way, Tennessee is trending the other.
Yeah, like I said, if Pittsburgh has Hooker, or not Hooker, if Pittsburgh has Pickett and Addison, this is a completely different game. Those two guys were absolute playmakers for Pittsburgh last year. They are now gone. Like you said, one transferred to USC, one to the NFL. I do not like this matchup. The only way Pittsburgh stays in this game at all is if Tennessee makes some mistakes. If they turn the ball over 3 or 4 times, Pittsburgh's got to capitalize on that. I just don't see it happening. I really don't.
And that was what happened last year. Tennessee had 3 turnovers in the football game, and Pittsburgh had none. And that wound up being the difference in the football game. It's tough to win when you give the ball to the other team consistently. And that was only a 7-point loss. That was, Pittsburgh won 41-34. And Tennessee put up 374 yards of offense and gave up 397 is what Pittsburgh has. So it was a very even game when it came to total yardage. Pittsburgh had the number 1 draft pick quarterback, All-American receiver, that's not even going to be there this year for that. And programs like Pittsburgh, to me, when they have that kind of talent league, you just don't replace that talent. It feels like an Alabama or Ohio State or Georgia. You worry a little less, but Pittsburgh can't afford those kind of losses and still be productive.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think, can you go to the West Virginia Pittsburgh game? Do you think that Keaton Slovis can have another 300-yard game? He's going to have at least 300, and I'm thinking he's going to have at least 3 or 4 touchdowns for them to even have a chance. Do you think he can do it against this Tennessee defense?
Maybe in garbage time yardage, but I'm not a fan of him being able to, if the game is close and competitive, to be able to do that on Tennessee's defense. They Yeah, they return a lot of players. Got 7 returning starters on defense, and it's just a loaded bunch. And West Virginia is not really known for being a good defensive football team. So I just don't see Pittsburgh being able to improve on those numbers at Tennessee. If anything, I think they're going to regress worse.
Yeah, I'm the same way. The only way he's going to be able to put up those kind of numbers is in garbage time. I think this one gets out of hand by halftime, and I think Tennessee is going to be resting starters by mid-third quarter.
So you think this is one of the safer bets to just go ahead and, if you're trying to bet the game at home, go ahead and take Tennessee to cover that 6-point spread?
Me personally, I'm not an expert, but my pick is that is a lock. Tennessee -6 is a lock. I don't know. Like I said at the beginning, I don't know where the odds makers are getting this from. I just do not see any way that Tennessee does not cover the 6-point spread.
I think Tennessee wins this game by way more than 6 points. And I think they get ready for their showdown on the 24th with Florida that's looking like shaping up to be at minimum top 15 matchup. So I think Tennessee handles business and look forward to a bigger and better matchup coming down the road.
What do you what is your prediction for the score of this game?
I'm going to say 45-17.
Yeah, I'm pretty close with that. I'm saying 48-13. Tennessee goes into Pittsburgh and gets the W in a top 25 matchup. I just don't see Pittsburgh with the talent to be able to hang with Tennessee. Slovis is going to have a monster game, limit turnovers. They're going to have to force Tennessee to have turnovers. If Tennessee keeps this a clean game with no turnovers, there's no shot Pittsburgh stays in the game.
Well, there you have it. We both like Tennessee this week. On our prediction, should be a fairly easily victory for them. And thanks for watching, guys. More